Okay, so welcome to Betide. In this video, we are going to make this. We basically, if you have followed the last two videos, then we will finish the inventory part. So also we will make a system so that it remembers our username and password. Although we put it here. So now login, player inventory, and you see the item in the player inventories comes up, and we have a user item in use item button. We will now start working on the shop functionality in the next video. So someone messaged me. Anyways, yeah, enjoy. Continue watching. Okay, so welcome back to the screen. Uh, I hope there is not much noise in the backend, but yeah, let's just get started. So basically, in the last video, if you remember, yeah. Hmm, we did this where you can enter your username and password, and it shows you how much amount of money you have in your Playfab wallet. And we even created this Playfab currency, if you remember, in the economy section. Yeah, we have a currency and even a skin one item. And we talked about how we can integrate the inventory thing. So if you have not watched that video, I would suggest you should go and watch it. So let's go to the project settings and maps and modes and open BP game instance. Just a lazy way of opening it. Anyways, so yeah, now we had saved the inventory here. So what we need to do is we can just yeah, mm, move this a bit this side. And now when we get the inventory, we for each loop we get the item ID. And when we get the item ID, we need to add this to our widget. So let's create a widget first. So the first widget would be for the user widget and inventory widget. Don't worry for the UI part, that would be done in the later part of the series. Now let's add hmm, canvas panel, and then let's add a scroll box. Now what scroll box would do is automatically fit all the things inside it. That means, for instance, we have 30 items, so we will just fit scroll box this side or this side depending upon your wish. And then it will have all the items in blocks. So that's why scroll box. Mm, let's make this big, and size to content. Then we need one more thing, that is click on browse, and this would be item widget. Oops, what I'm doing it. Yeah, rename item widget. Now make this desired, and then get a size box. And make this width and height override to something about 550, yeah, 700. So yeah, I'm just making a random guess. 800 would do better. Yeah. Compile and save. Get three things. Firstly, a vertical box, and then get a text for displaying the item's name. Make this in top and middle. Let's name it skin 1. Then the next thing which we need to, okay, so the next thing which we need to do is add a image. That would be the item image. set the padding from the top to 15, maybe 30, and uh, set the image size to 500 by 500, and then add a button. This button would have a text, and the text should say use item. This should have a padding, or the button should have a padding from top of 50 about. Yeah, it's perfectly fine. This now it's look better. And now get back to your inventory widget and drag from here, search for item widget and drag this to the scroll box. So you can see we can have multiple scroll boxes. What we need to do is select the scroll box and select the orientation to be horizontal, and this way you can have multiple items and then you can drag them if you wish. So yeah, so just remove these scroll boxes currently. Add a text to the top firstly to this inventory widget. Place it a little here and make it player. What just happened? Player inventory, and make it size to content. Select a good font and drag this a little bit. Looks better. And also in the item widget, you can make this use item to draw as none. That way you can have a better aesthetic with the thing. Compile. Now what you need to do is get to the graph of this inventory widget, and on construct, what we need to do is we need to get this inventory from the Playfab, from the game instance, and then we need to add item widgets for each of the item. So what should we do is open class settings of the game instance and search for BI game instance. Add a new function here and name this get player inventory, and this should have an output of inventory. So now inventory type will have Playfab JSON type. Let me just confirm, it's Playfab JSON object. Yeah, Playfab JSON object reference and array. Compile and save. Get to the game instance, compile, get to the interfaces, and you will see get oh, okay, so we already have get currency and inventory, so we already gave it a inventory thing. So what you need to do is remove this get player inventory. Sorry, we don't need this. Compile and save. Get to the inventory widget, and now let's create. So what you need to do is get game instance and then get currency and inventory. And when we get the inventory, you know what we need to do. We have to get to our event graph and copy this logic. So because some of you would not have made this, so let's make it from starting. Make a for each loop and then get it was get field. Remember, we are doing everything in the inventory widget, right? And then we need to get the item ID. Let me just copy this, because if you remember in this data table thing, item list data table, we had put the row names as the item ID. So let's put the field name as item id, and then we need to get as a string. Get as a string, make get data table row, drag this here, and in this data table select item list data table and drag this into the loop body. Now on this out, create a break item list structure, and if the row is found, we need to add a add an item widget to this scroll box. So what we will do is, if the row is found, then create a widget. This would be item widget, and add to we need to make this scroll box as a variable. So select the scroll box and press on is variable. Now go back to the graph, drag this scroll box here and add child. Drag this like here. Now compile and save. Now basically we need to tell this item widget now ki, like what item it has got. So what will do is just get to this item widget, open it, go to the graph and create two variables. First would be row name, so that we can save the row name of the data table. And the second thing which we need to store is this out table. This is wildcard out row. Let me just promote it to a variable. It is item list structure. Get to the item widget and create a new variable, name this item list, and the variable type is item list structure. Compile and save. Now you need to expose both on spawn. Select this and this I button on both of these. Select the second and make it expose on spawn. Compile and save. Get to the inventory widget. Right click this create item widget and refresh node. So yeah, you get this. Now we don't need this break item list here, so just you can delete this and drag this here, and in row name you can just drag this thing. Yeah. Compile and save. This should work. One more thing before going is we need to add a button for this inventory widget in our main menu. Add a button. Add a text. Text should be player inventory, and the button should be of size to content and tinned. Oh, sorry. Draw as none. Copy if normal and paste on hover and pressed. Let's check if everything works perfectly fine. Let me enter hello, password as password. So yeah, we get this player inventory. Let me press player inventory. Oops, we forgot to write the logic for player inventory. Now on pressed. On pressed, create widget. The widget would be item. Oh, sorry, inventory widget. And add to viewport. And before that, remove all widgets. Also, you can see we have already updated the currency and inventory in our game, so that's why we are not updating it in the inventory widget again. Now let's play. Username hello, password as password, and login. Player inventory. So you see we get this skin one item because we only have one item in our inventory. Let's do one thing. uh, hmm. Let's create a new item, name this skin 2 and display name as skin 2, and currency UC, amount would be 1000. Save item, no thanks, and let's play. So we don't get the item here, but now if I get back to our edge and get to the players, search hello, inventory, and grant the skin 2 item to this player. Now this should come up in the inventory also. Mhm. Isn't it updated? Let me just skin 1, skin 2. uh, it's stackable and durable. The rest everything should be fine. It should come up in the game. Let me recheck. Hello, password. It doesn't come up. Let me just open the inventory and check if it's updating. Yeah, it should come up. Mm, mm, mm. Is there something different in these? Nope. Oh, okay. I get it. So copy this item ID and get back to your this thing. We have not added this item ID in our data table, and that's why it's not showing up. So we need to add this item to our data table also. So press on this search button and open this. Add a new item. Right click it and rename. Where is rename? Rename and paste the item ID of the second thing. Name this to AK-47. This would be weapon skin, and let's select this. So get back to our item widget. So we have not made any logic to display the images and things like that. So make an event construct node or event construct, get this item list and break item list structure. Get back, set the skin one as variable and set this uh, item name. Set this as item image. Compile and save. Get back to the graph. Get the item name. Set item. Oops, it's set brush because it's item image. Drag this here. In brush, make slate brush. Now the size should be same as the one you selected, which looks good. So I will select 500 by 500 here. And in image settings, I will put this. Now after this, I will set the text for item name, and this is the text. Now this should work perfectly fine. Hello password. Player inventory. So yeah, you see, we get the items. If I open item list, and where is the preview of this? Yeah. So for AK-47, we have this red item. You can see it's showing perfectly fine. So now the player inventory works. Let me just check once more by removing an item from the player. Let's remove skin 1. Now let's see if the player has a skin 1 or not. Yeah, skin 1 gone. Now one more thing which we can do is, let's open our uh, open main menu, widgets, and login widget. In the login, in the text put hello, whatever your username is, and in text password. Now this is only for testing. This way what will happen is, even for testing, now if I press login, it will automatically log in because it has my ID password already as text. And this is only for testing purposes. You will have to remove it before packing for distribution. Right, it's working perfectly fine. Okay, so I will end this video here. Thanks for watching. We will finish the shop function, like we will start working on the shop thing in the next video. I just wanted to finish the inventory part in this one. I know it's a short video, but hope you understand my thing. Yeah, let's meet in the next video. Thanks for watching. Uh, yeah, thanks.